Well, one thing you did have, though, is you had the high-flying moves. You did the moonsaults, the swanton bombs, as Jeff Hardy calls it now. And at that time, why did they push guys like you and Brady Boone in the town? Was it just like a big man's world back then?
Oh, it's just, boy, I tell you, you said Brady Boone, what a nice man he was. And he just passed away in a car wreck about, 10 years ago?
10 years ago, or 10 or 11 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, he was something, he was a nice guy. Anyway, people think I invented the moonsault, but actually I saw a videotape, Dynamite Kid against Tiger Mask. And Tiger Mask did the moonsault, and I said, hey, I bet I could do that. And evidently a lot of wrestlers looked at me and said, boy, I bet I could do that. But anyway, listen, I don't write this stuff. I just show up with my suitcase. You know, you want me to win, I win. You want me to lose, I lose. But I just worried about what can I control. What's, and that is, what am I going to do with my money?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. The only thing that counts is what the big brother counts. That's the only, in other words, they can make me a jabroni, but I don't have to live my life as one. And some of the greatest stars are now jabronis, like Jake Roberts, and some of the worst jabronis are now stars like me.
Yeah.
I mean, let's put it this way. I love Jake Roberts. I think he's a fantastic talent. And he flushed it all down the toilet. And I saw him in a YouTube interview. Then he smiles, and he's got like, what do you call it, crystal meth teeth. I said, oh my God, put your money where your mouth is. I mean, here's a man that made millions of dollars in wrestling, and that's his teeth. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel sorry for him, but in a way I don't. Because this guy had everything that you want in a wrestler. He had the interview, the work, the charisma, the brain, everything. And what did he do? He didn't floss. I mean, come on. You want to know something? He's younger than me.
He doesn't look too good these days. Him and Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, too. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon's in the same shape as him, basically.
Is he really?
He's not doing too good himself.
But Razor Ramon was even handsomer. Like the best looking guy ever. That, back in the day, right? And, big and well built and all that. But, it's just that, what am I saying? I feel sorry for you, but I don't. Because there's consequences to everything you do. And just because you're a big wrestling star doesn't make you not, like Ted Kennedy, he cheats in college. Everybody thinks he's a saint now. Saint Ted. He's going to die soon, but he'll be revered as a great saint. But I think of him as a guy that cheated in college, got caught, drowned Mary Jo Kopechne, didn't even turn himself in to the, in Martha's Vineyard.
Okay.
Maybe you don't know that, but before you were born, he got drunk, drove off a bridge, didn't even report it to the police, and of course he got off scot-free, and he still can be senator. But there's people in jail that did less, but their name ain't Kennedy.
Yeah, I see your point. Who was your favorite wrestler to work with, or your favorite feud? Or if it's the top guys, whatever?
Well, to say anything else than Hulk Hogan would be absolutely horrible on my part. I don't think I was his best match, but he was definitely my best match. For him it was just, he was the nucleus, I was the electron.
Okay.
It meant a lot to me. I don't know, I'll probably be in other words, if you ask Hulk Hogan, he won't say me. But if you ask me, I gotta say Hulk Hogan. Because when a jabroni becomes a star, he remembers it. And Hulk Hogan was only a star in this business, and I was only a star once, and that was when I drank from the silver chalice of his limelight. So, he can't wrestle himself, it was just my turn.
And who'd you feel like some of the stiffest workers, the guys you wouldn't want to get in the ring with?
I have to say, Bam Bam Bigelow and Big Boss Man were the worst workers. I'm sorry they're both dead.
Okay.
I liked one of them. I liked Big Boss Man.
Okay.
I thought Ray Trailer, I loved him. I just didn't want to wrestle him because I just didn't like those bubble slams.
Yeah.
And when you hurt me the first time, you know what I mean, and you're still doing it, and that's your neck. I mean, trust me, if I got you with a bubble slam and you didn't like the first one, you wouldn't feel too crazy about the next 100.
No.
And anyway, but in the same breath, let me say that I have much love for Big Boss Man Ray Trailer and very little for Bam Bam Bigelow.
Okay.
I thought he was a despicable waste of human tissue. And I hate to knock the dead, but everybody's dead.
It's not. Yeah.
Jake Roberts, he's been trying to commit suicide for all those years, and he must be the toughest man in the world. Still alive.
I have a question for you about this WrestleMania 4 rumor. Was DiBiase originally supposed to win the world title, and like Honky refused to job the Intercontinental, or is that just a major myth?
You know what? You have to ask DiBiase. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I bet you get the truth from him. I bet he was considered for it. He certainly deserved it.
What do you think of the current product? I'm like not very happy about how they don't really, tag teams aren't prevalent, and they don't do many good promos, and they don't have really squash matches anymore. I kind of like the old stuff better. But what do you think of the current product?
Well, I was in Toronto, in Etobicoke, Ontario. They flew me in so I could meet and greet the fans at a place called Boston Pizza.
Okay.
And there were about 500 fans that showed up, and if they brought a non-perishable food item for the food drive for the poor people, they got in for only $20 or whatever. And I don't watch a lot of television because I'm too busy.
Yes.
And when I do watch television, it's usually ESPN, where I want to see the baseball highlights. So I didn't really watch wrestling anymore because I'm saturated with it, actually. But I decided to really watch WrestleMania, and I've heard a lot of horrible things being said about it, but I have to take my hat off to the whole show, lighting, the fact that they broke a money record, all-time gross, what was it, between $6 and $7 or $8 million.
Yeah.
And 70-something thousand people. Very successful evening. And I don't want to not mention somebody, but I have to say the Hardy brothers had a hell of a match. But I was absolutely amazed and impressed, and with Shawn Michaels against The Undertaker. I mean, wow. These guys are like, I don't know, 10 years younger than me, which is still pretty old. And in other words, they're pretty old to be throwing their bodies around like that. Well, I am just amazed, impressed, and actually, I know you have a very big, I gotta say, wow. These guys are great. I thought The Undertaker broke his neck. I don't know what happened, but good for him. I mean, they gave the fans their money's worth.
Yeah, I really do see that out of the old guys. Really do well in the ring. Undertaker Michaels was definitely the best match tonight. That could possibly be one of the best WrestleMania matches ever. Some of these guys are like.
I'd have to say Steamboat against Savage has to be mentioned.
Yes.
But that night, I'm gonna tell you what, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. I mean, if you can't say that was great, I mean, you're either jealous or stupid.
Yeah. I thought also Steamboat, he looked pretty good considering he has not wrestled, at least to my knowledge, since '94 when he had, I think he broke his neck against Austin, or he had some kind of injury, and he came out for the first time wrestling that match. I thought he didn't lose a step pretty much. That was pretty impressive.
Well, you know what I love about Steamboat is that he had that arm track, and I was trying to copy it, but I couldn't figure it out. And the first time I saw him, I had met him in Charlotte, North Carolina, of course. And I saw him again. He said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, after we got past the "how you doing," I said, "Can I ask you a personal question?" He says, "Yeah, what is it?" I said, "I'm trying to copy your arm track, and I have no idea what you have that I don't have." And he took about 30 minutes to explain it to me. And I'm not saying I got to be as good as him, but he took me from a 4 to a 6 if he's a 10.
Okay.
Okay, if his arm drag's a 10, he took me to 6, which was slightly below average to slightly above average. And he's a 10, only because there is no 11. Personally, that meant a lot to me that he would care enough to even explain it. Because I just put it on the table. I'm trying to copy you. And he said, "Fine, here's what I do." And I thought that was very nice of him.
Yeah, that was very nice of him. I'm shocked that he'd be willing to do that instead of, some wrestlers would probably be jealous of things like that. They wouldn't want to take their time or anything.
I think he admired my honesty, that I'm trying to copy you,
Did you happen to see the movie The Wrestler or no?
Yes, I did.
Do you have an opinion on that?
I think it was the greatest thing ever. I was, first of all, I'm a fan of Darren Aronofsky.
Okay.
And secondly, I went to New York to audition for it. And I was not chosen, but it was worth it to me to fly to New York to audition for it. Because, you know what a mark is, right?
Yes.